good. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome. It is Friday, which means it is time for another Paint and Slay. And I know it's been a couple weeks, and as you can tell, something slightly different, just a touch different, but it's all for a really great cause, I promise. We have today joining us Eve Crevoshay. She is the executive director at Take This, who many of you might know for reasons. But Eve is here to chat with us about this really cool event that's just started up today. It's a 24-hour live stream deal called Stronger Together. So we're going to have fun talking in the first hour together about this. If you have questions about this event as we're chatting, then make sure you jump into our Twitch chat and type in caps, question, and your question, so that we can ask some more questions from Eve as we have her here with us today. That's fun. It's Friday. It's already started. So Eve, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get into the nitty-gritty and the chatty time, we do have a few things happening in the game, however. So Lauren, what's going on?
Oh, so many things. So first I'll say thank you to Gabe, our amazing moderator, for grabbing those questions in chat. Gabe is also going to be posting a bevy of wonderful links for all the fun stuff going on with the donations that are going on for Stronger Together. Meanwhile, if you happen to have the game open in another screen, then you should be working on getting Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3. You know, award-winning Baldur's Gate 3 that won all sorts of awards. Shadowheart is available right now in Cimmeral.
That was perfect timing.
Thank you for your timing, V. That was amazing. So it's Cimmeral, Warduke, and Yorvin are all still available for this weekend. So make sure you take some time and get them unlocked. And I mean, beyond Shadowheart, who is God's favorite princess and an amazing champion, I highly recommend getting Warduke so that you can go and get the Warduck skin, which is the best thing ever of all time. And I say that with several skins out for my character, Orkira. I think I like Warduck the best. Anyway. Cimmeral's happening. I am kind of serious. Warduck is amazing. Makes Luke so happy. Yes. If you need any help this weekend doing any of the fun stuff going on with the season or the event, then this weekend is the Rise of Undeath weekend, with all these wonderful champions getting boosts and buffs and fun things. And if you check your email over the next couple of hours, you should get a newsletter from us with a free gold clawed chest, which is also just an amazing chest. So all the hands, every hand. So definitely keep an eye out for that email. If you haven't signed up for a newsletter yet, I highly recommend it, because we really only send out one newsletter a week with free stuff in it, just telling you about, the awesome things that are going on. We are not going to send 3 billion emails, I promise. But definitely sign up so that you can get the free stuff. And finally, this will be my transition back to V and Eve. Why are we talking about this now? Well, this event is going on right now. That's right, over at twitch.tv/Global Game Jam. They're doing a whole big 24-hour live stream event. If you're hanging out with us later on today, we will be raiding into that channel. There's also going to be some in-game alerts, especially for a fun D&D game that's going to be going on this evening. And if you are looking at the screen, you'll probably recognize all of these excellent organizations that this charity event is helping and promoting, and especially Take This, because, we're all fans of Take This and Dr. Raphael Bocamazzo and his work both with Take This and with Champions of Psychology. And there's a QR code. I just realized there's a QR code. That's awesome. With that, I will transition back to V and to Eve, as I'm also going to be keeping an eye on the chat, and we're going to be in between asking all sorts of fun questions about what's going on this weekend and how people can help donate. We're going to be working on a Yeti.
Yes, so I'm also enjoying the fact that Eve and I, both of our names use the same exact letters, just different order. I just noticed that looking at the
Oh my gosh! That's great. I feel so left out.
Yay! So as we get started chatting about this event, we're going to be working on the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures Abominable Yeti from WizKids. So this heckin' chonker of a mini I say that sarcastically. You can find this at your friendly local game store. You can also go to dndmedia.com if an FLGS is not an option for you. So make sure to check that out. And we do have another code from WizKids. Thank you so much, which I am sure Gabe will be a huge help and get that code in the chat for you. I want to say it is Save and Slay Deck. Yes.
Save and say DEC, which we were just talking about before the stream, how to actually pronounce that, but DEC, and you will get that discount.
Yes. So what I'm going to do while we're chatting with Eve is the old trick of there's some interesting mold lines that are kind of gapping a little bit, and I want to soften that extremity because right now this looks like a man in a Yeti suit because it almost looks like the head's, a mask. So we're going to take the old trick of super glue and baking soda and just putting the super glue into these groove lines, sprinkling the baking soda, and just letting it soften those lines up just a little bit. And that's what I'm going to be doing while we start chatting with Eve. So Eve, right off the bat, I want to know, how did this idea for Stronger Together get started, quite frankly?
So there's, as you mentioned, there's a bunch of great nonprofits in games that are working together on this. And the executive directors of these organizations, Women in Games International, WIGI, the IGDA Foundation, Game to Grow, Global Game Jam, and Take This, we work together. We share our knowledge and our expertise. We think, we try to kind of serve the same purposes and work in complementary ways. And so we talk to each other on a regular basis. We provide support to each other. One of the things that we talk about in leadership is that, leadership is a very lonely place to be. So it's important for us to find community, just like it's really important for everyone else to find community. And so we started talking about some of the challenges we have around fundraising, which is a hard thing to do, particularly right now in games. And we said, oh, why don't we try this? Why don't we try doing this together? I had done this before a couple of years ago at the start of the pandemic, and it had gone really well. And so we decided that we would try it again. So that's what we're doing. Is this? It's a shared fundraiser and kind of mutual support community for these organizations. And we really wanted. We all provide services that support folks, that bring folks together, especially people who make games. And we were like, well, this is a time when people who make games are really facing a lot of challenges. The industry is going through a huge amount of layoffs and studio closures, and that's a hard time. And so we really wanted to provide as many resources as we could back to the community, and we need money to do that. So that's what we're doing.
I think that's fantastic, quite frankly. And it's, the strength in numbers concept. So I'm assuming that's how Stronger Together, as the name itself, came to. Yeah, that's fantastic. You quickly mentioned the groups, but would you mind, just for those who aren't familiar with the groups, going through each group and sort of explaining what they do and what they bring to the table individually?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the Global Game Jam, which is hosting the stream on their page, is an organization that runs a global weekend game jam every year, and also creates resources for educators to run game jams, for folks to come together in community worldwide around making games. And that game jam that weekend is an opportunity for people to have fun. It's an opportunity for folks to build their resumes and their portfolios with cool game ideas and try their hand at game design for the first time. It's a really unique opportunity, and it's global, which is really extraordinary because it provides people from places where there maybe isn't that much of an industry, or there's an industry that's just starting up, to participate in this whole process and become part of community. So that's Global Game Jam. The IGDA is the International Game Developers Association, and they have affinity groups and build community both across identities and issues. There's a mental health special interest group, for example. And also in various localities, they build local chapters. And so it's about another way of building community and helping people connect, network, and learn about specific topics and issues across games. And they also provide some support to developers and to developer communities. The IGDA Foundation is a separate organization, similar name, but a separate organization.
Gotcha.
And they provide really cool scholarships and mentorship programs to people from marginalized identities who are entering games. Some of those scholarships are for folks who are new in their careers, like just starting out. Some are like mid-career development.
Oh, wow.
Fellowships, and they bring people to major game conventions and help them network and help them find mentorship and develop their skills. They're really cool programs. WIGI, Women in Games International, does similar work around mentorship, some really cool programming there, and networking and support to women in games, women and people of marginalized genders. And that's a really exciting, growing organization. Game to Grow provides therapeutic D&D services and programming to kids and adults. And they're in a kind of rebuilding phase right now, but that's a really cool organization and mission. And then Take This. We do mental health in games.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I can talk a lot more about Take This, but I will leave that for another moment. Largely, we provide mental health services and resources to people who make and play games. So.
And I will say,
wonderful.
Absolutely, and I will go ahead and talk a little bit more about Take This, because we just had PAX Unplugged, yes. And the PAXs almost always have the AFK room that Take This puts on, which I believe the tagline is, "It is the most boring room in the convention by design," and it has been a absolute boon for I can speak to it personally of having a place to go in the middle of an incredibly busy convention and just be quiet and be in a quiet, calm space, and not having to worry about someone coming up to speak to you, and you just kind of need your own moment to decompress. Even for those of us who might be more on the extroverted side, just having a place to go in the middle of the day that doesn't require you to go all the way back to your hotel room or Airbnb or whatever is an absolute boon at that convention, and I appreciate it. And I will also say for Game to Grow, the Adams who take care of Game to Grow, they're wonderful people, and all these organizations are amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to throw in the AFK room, since I literally just saw it a couple days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was our first program. Do you know it's turning 10? PAX East, it'll be 10 years since our first.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of amazing. So the AFK room is really an important service, and we get messages, Lauren. We hear from people every convention. They're like, literally, I couldn't have stayed, or I plan my week, my attendance at PAX around AFK room visits. It's yeah.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things I do when I'm looking up information about the convention is, now where is the AFK room? So that way, if I need it, I know where to go.
Yep,
exactly.
Definitely. It is definitely a thing. Okay, so I've gone around and I have softened the lines. As you can see, there's not this garish delineation going on. So yeah, it softens it up and makes it look like a full coat of fur as opposed to someone wearing a suit, essentially. Give it more of that, fantastic creature look as opposed to some guy getting ready for Halloween. I did see some back and forth in the comments. If for some reason you get this combination of super glue and baking soda on your fingers, it's going to harden up and be really awkward. Just get yourself some nail polish remover. Make sure it's 100% acetone on a Q-tip that's well saturated. Just put that onto the area that's affected. Give it a couple of seconds, about a minute, and it will get that off your fingertips for you. And
confirm.
Snapdad's like, haha. I'm like, hey, I watch you guys. I see what you're talking about.
I'm glad you jumped in there, because I was literally about to, because I was watching too. Also, thank you, Belswin, for all of the gifted subscriptions. I hope everybody that got a gifted subscription enjoys your emotes. Also, hi, Urban Bohemian. Welcome.
Hello.
We can't send you 3 billion newsletters, unfortunately. But I appreciate the enthusiasm.
That's intimidating. So before we get back into chatting more about Stronger Together, I'm going to jump over to Scarlet Red. This is sort of your classic cherry apple red color. So it's a good neutral red tone. It's not too bluish red. It's not too orangey red. It's that nice classic red color. And we're going to put this into the inside of the mouth. And again, we don't need to be precious about getting this on the teeth or anything like that, because right now the name of the game is to get into all these deeper nooks and crannies with that red, so that as we start layering the colors moving out, when it comes time to finishing up this creature, you won't be looking down its mouth and realize, oh, its throat's white. Like the inside of the throat is white. So we're going to go in with Scarlet Red from the D&D Prismatic Paints that WizKids was kind enough to give to us. And you'll just want like a little detail brush for this one to make it easy. My Scarlet Red is pretty watery, so I'm not going to thin this out. But if this comes out the consistency of like ketchup or toothpaste that's too thick, you want to thin it out with a little bit of water. Always go for warm maple syrup. I like to use the food references.
As someone from Vermont, I love that
analogy.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I just had to water mine down just a tiny bit. Just a
some
hair.
of them. I mean, and the funny thing is that your paint can change its texture and its consistency over time. I've had paints that have been super thick and now they're almost liquefied. And then I'll have other paints that were super liquidy and now they're very thick. So always check your paints. Don't assume, oh, well, this one's always going to be like this. Sometimes it might change its mind and suddenly you're looking at a different paint consistency. So just a little heads up there.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go in with this detail brush. So then what's important to know is, since this is a 24-hour event and it's just started up, Eve, when will this Stronger Together basically wrap up?
So the big stream is today. We want to make a big splash, but we're actually the fundraiser is open through the end of December, through the end of the year.
Awesome.
So if you're kind of busy right now, as a few of us are in this world, and you get to it in a few weeks, that's fine.
Busy, or waiting on those last couple paychecks of the year, or
whatever.
This December is always kind of a ridiculous time of year.
Waiting to see how the gifting works, kind of shakes out, and the budget.
So literally like December 31st at 11:59 p.m. Okay.
Yep.
And that's Pacific PM, or what time zone PM would that come to a close?
Pacific, because take this,
All right, great. Just for everyone's fly.
Yeah,
to have that
absolutely.
knowledge.
Definitely. That is like, it looks like lipstick right now.
It does. And it's going to look so weird for a little while until we get back in and start doing more detail work. Because what I'm doing is I'm intentionally getting the teeth, because if I try and paint around the teeth, I will inevitably end up with areas that are supposed to be sort of, bloody gnaw gums type of situation. But the teeth, because I didn't paint them, it's going to show up white. So it's just easier, especially for creatures like this with big, the classic gaping maw of D&D. It's easier just to go all in and essentially make this look like it's a toddler who got their mother's lipstick and ate it.
V is very good at planning things out so that you don't have to do so much of the, I got to be real careful about going around this, or I got to really avoid that. And mouth and teeth are definitely one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I would be so bad at that part.
I was. And then
you learned from V.
And then 89 episodes later, I'm a lot better. I'm not only a lot better, but I've learned lots of good techniques from her. I've also learned to be much kinder on myself, because you know what? It's just painting minis, and as long as you're having fun, that's the important bit. But yes,
exactly.
It can take a little bit of time and practice, and sometimes I'm still like, I got red everywhere.
Yep. But we're also going to be able to edge around the mouth and clean things up. So I'm not even getting too worried about the fact that I'm hopping outside of the gum line. Because I know we'll go back in with the paint and kind of get that cleaned up. So while we finish fine-tuning, because this is some awkward angles on this gun. So while we do this, what are some other ways that people can help support this event besides just tuning in?
So you can share the campaign on social media. Like there's the stream itself. We have a couple of ways to donate. So you can donate through Tiltify, which is active today. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh because my dog is like barking in his sleep behind me. It's hilarious.
Can't even hear it
Oh,
though. It's adorable,
Yeah,
but you can't hear it.
it's super adorable. He's
Aw.
having a very active dream. And there's also a Give Butter link for this is the main campaign page. You can give there. And if you go there, you can see like the actual amount we've raised, which is really exciting. And we have a bunch of matching funds.
Oh.
We've released the first $10,000 in matching funds. We've got some more to come as we raise more. So every time you give today or through the end of the campaign, it's matched, and your donation is essentially doubled. So those are some great sponsors that we
That's
really
phenomenal.
appreciate. Yeah. So that's really awesome. So signal boosting, participating in the stream in any way you want to, and donating. Those are the three ways that we really would appreciate help. And then if you have a workplace where you think other folks, or a community where other folks might be sympathetic or interested in giving, share it there. You can even create like a little campaign for yourself, and then you can like compete against other people, see how much you give.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So,
That
yeah,
really is great to hear the different variety and options that people can put to use for
totally.
this. So, thank you for sharing that. Before I go into the next question, we're going to move to the next step.
all
So,
right.
as you can see, like I said, looks like a little kid who ate its mama's lipstick. What we're going to do now is start taking care of basically, this is going to be fun. It's like hands, shoulders, knees, and toes, but different. So we're going to do mixing Stonewall Gray, which is a neutral gray. We're going to mix that with some black to make a darker gray. And we want to make sure we're putting this onto the ears, face, feet, and hands.
Okay.
Is
So
what we're putting
fair
this on.
amount of this then.
Yeah, a decent amount. I would actually start with putting Stonewall Gray on your palette first, because a little bit of
Okay.
black goes a very long way. So let's call this 3 parts Stonewall to 1 part black. So if you want this in like drop measurements, 3 drops to 1 drop, and then increase from there. And that will just go around, and I will do a swatch on my wrist so you can see what that looks like. And
This
then
is
while we're
definitely gonna
mixing,
need some water, because both of these are, at least for me, super thick.
mine are thick too, so I'm going to thin this out in just a second once I get the swatch on my wrist. Otherwise, if I swatch my wrist now, it's going to look a little washy if I thin it out. But that's the kind of gray color you want.
Oh, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That makes
I'm going to
sense.
start with that one. Yeah. And then as we get this thinned out and ready to paint, if people do tune in, what kind of streams can they look forward to seeing over the next 24 hours?
So we have a lot of different stuff. A lot of it is developers talking to developers about networking, self-care, building resumes. There's some play. There's a lawyer who's going to play a game. Um, uh,
I don't know. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I think that's
I think the
amazing.
intention was, in fact, to laugh. We have a mental health 101 Q&A happening today at 4. We've got introductions to all of the organizations participating. We have a D&D one shot at 7 tonight. Overnight, we've got like a couple of hours of hold on. There's a schedule
Ooh, perfect.
that I gave you the link to, and that schedule, which is really what I should be looking at when I talk to you, because I have in fact lost track of everything.
I mean, there's a lot going on, and I know
There
Gabe
is.
has got that link, so I'm sure
Yep.
you will be seeing in chat shortly.
So the IGDA Foundation is right now doing an alumni game stream of like different games that IGDA Foundation fellows have worked on or made over the years. Next hour is a conversation about unionization in games. We've got Ace Attorney. John Leuterman is playing Ace Attorney at 2:30, which is the
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the union panel and all of that was amazing.
It's
and
great.
Absolutely worth it. But there's something chef's kiss about an attorney playing Ace Attorney. I love it.
I absolutely 100% agree. And it's this is really, it's like, this is a serious set of organizations, but we all make games, so it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Minecraft played through early tomorrow
Ooh.
morning. Um, we've got accessibility. Um, and we've got, yeah, there's a couple of different things happening. So take a look at that schedule. I think that schedule actually does not include a 2 hour playthrough with some of the folks on my team early this morning, next or early tomorrow morning. I'm just trying to remember what the game is, and I will find it and tell you
Okay.
instead
Yeah.
of just saying and a lot.
And
But
for those who might miss one of these streams, because it's 24 hours and not everyone
Yes.
can watch 24 hours, are the VODs going to be available anywhere in specific or on a YouTube channel?
Yeah, you can find them probably. I don't know how fast they'll be up, but they'll be on the Global Jam channel and probably on the Take This channel as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
that's always helpful to know. Sounds like it's a great variety that's being offered, though, to kind of catch different interests at different times.
Yeah, totally. We
No,
just really
sir.
wanted it to feel like it was going to serve a lot of different people in a lot of different geographic areas. Because this is a very much um a uh, a global industry and a global
Mm-hmm.
community. We want to
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful, really. Um, Before warning, Hemingway might be walking across my desk in just a minute, and I'm going to need to remove him bodily, but,
Eh.
we'll see how far we can get. Right,
That's all
bud?
right. That's the normal for Paint and Slay. The fun is now
Yeah.
we have a dog to join in with the cat love. It's just
We
like,
just,
yay.
I
as long
love
as
it.
they're not in the same room together, we're all good.
There we go.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
fair.
Hmm.
Then it becomes a completely different show.
Yeah. No, we're not ready for cats and dogs living together. We're
Mm,
not
No.
ready for that
it's
one.
not paint blood at that point. Yeah.
Oh, God. Forget the paint, just slay. I'm kidding. Um,
Mhm.
so, with all the effort you're putting into getting this pulled together and planned, do you think this is something that you'll continue doing throughout the years?
Yeah. And actually, when I started at Take This 5.5 years ago, there used to be a similar thing called the One Gamer Fund.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, hi Hemingway. Bye.
Hey, big.
Hi, kitty. Everyone in chat say hi to the cats.
It's also
Hi.
his birthday today, so I gotta be nice to the birthday boy.
Oh.
Everybody in chat say happy birthday to the cat.
Um, yeah, so I have a feeling that we will probably consider doing this again and probably expanding it. There's so
Oh,
many
cool.
great organizations in games that support um, people from uh, all different backgrounds and all different identities and all different with all kinds of different agendas. And
Mm-hmm.
we really like to create as big a tent as possible. And that's I can think this is kind of a let's see how this goes this year.
Right.
We really we need to identify some new support, but we also really want to see how this can build
Yeah.
and develop. Yeah.
Well, and I
That's
think
very cool.
there's something very perfect and beautiful about all these organizations which are here to support people coming together to support each other and like just doing
Mm-hmm.
a big game jam kind of thing. I think that's absolutely wonderful.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And I have to say, like, personally, having the community of other executive directors and having that kind of support, it's hard running small nonprofits, and that's really cool too. So from like a personal perspective, I really appreciate it too.
Good.
Hmm.
I like it. Let's see here. So, are there any goals or milestones that are sort of set up for this 24-hour event itself?
Yeah, so we're doing periodic giveaways and we've got some Steam codes for Ultimate Chicken Horse and a couple of
I'm
Sega
sorry.
titles.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Yeah. Yeah, those are coming up.
I
One
love
of
it.
the most ridiculous and wonderful games.
He's like, okay, wait, stop.
If that, yeah, you're
Have
gonna
you
go
not
jump
heard
on
of
the
this
stream.
game?
I have not.
Oh,
You
it's
haven't?
amazing.
No.
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful.
What is it?
I am so bad at it because platformers are like just like not a thing I can do, but
Mm-hmm.
oh wow. It's just silly and full. It's puzzles and
Ooh.
platform. Yeah, it's cool. I'm not
Okay.
going to do much any justice, but yeah, Clever Endeavor is the studio that makes Ultimate Chicken Horse, and they gave us some
Okay.
codes.
I'm gonna be looking this one up when we get off the stream today.
hmm
That's
Um,
awesome.
but every $10,000 we raise releases another $10,000 in matching funds. So we
Okay.
have some really generous game studios and publishers who've stepped up, and folks in games. So we've got Google Games, we've got Modulate, which does trust and safety. They do real-time voice moderation in games. They're a
Oh,
really cool
wow.
company, and a few others who've made really generous donations, and those funds, as they're released, they're matching everything. So every time we get to another 10K, then we get to release more of those funds, which is really exciting.
That
So those are
is.
our milestones, and we're close. I think it's I can tell you in real time where we're at
Ooh,
on
Hey.
yeah.
the Give Better page. We are at 28,302,000, which means we are less than $2,000 away from our next milestone, which is really exciting.
That's incredible. And
Congrats.
if anyone's just jumping in here, I'm going to put the graphic back up. We're talking about the Stronger Together 24-hour live stream event. It's happening right now. It got started at 8 a.m. Pacific today. If you want to check things out throughout the next 24 hours, head over to Global Game Jam here on Twitch. And as you can see, it is a great community of groups working together to help make a difference. Highly recommend you use that QR code right there in that lower corner to help get yourself a little bit more information. The nice thing is you're watching the stream, just take your cell phone and point it right there at that QR code and go from there. But
Yeah.
that is what we're chatting about today with Eve Crevoshay, the executive director of Take This, our good friends and buddies.
And if you missed that QR code, our wonderful moderator Gabe has been putting links to all the stuff we've been talking about in chat. In fact, they just put the Twitch link in there, so thank you. So you can come on over, and he's got those links going up. And if you don't see a link and you need one, just ask.
Exactly. We're happy to help
Meanwhile, I'm
out.
going to make sure that I've gotten all the spots on this hand.
All
I'm
the
trying to
knuckles.
paint something gray, and something gray is preventing me. Put
Yeah.
It's the physical challenge element of this stream. Paint around the cat. So once this live stream itself is wrapped up, what's a good place for the audience to go and keep things, kind of check things out and keep going with it throughout the month of December, since this does end on December 31st?
Yeah. So the best place to go is the Give Butter like main campaign page, and I think that's I've given that link to you and to Gabe.
Okay, great.
And it's Stronger Together in Games. There's some other numbers and letters, but it's that's where you can track the progress. That's where we post updates. And in fact, on that page we posted a link to a resource list that we have developed as part of this effort. Stronger Together in Games is really about producing resources and support for game developers. And so it's housed on the Take This website. It's takethis.org/stronger together. And it's just a whole bunch of ways to find support for either through mentoring, networking, skill building, mental health support, all sorts of job listings, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
that kind
really
of
good to know.
networking is super important and
Oh my gosh,
really,
yes.
really hard to do. And people often forget how expensive it is because so much of it is in person, and you can't always go to the place that has the networking opportunities. And so that's fantastic.
Yeah, and there's some ways to do networking online, and find communities online. That's really important, and that's try to make this stuff as accessible as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Are there any type of, if you want to participate in these support programs, is it all experience levels or certain experience levels for people who are in the gaming industry looking for support?
A lot of this stuff is based on the point in your career, yes, but also a lot of stuff is targeted to folks of marginalized identities or from from geographic locations where there isn't a major industry presence yet, or where the industry is still developing. So outside of Europe and North America and Japan and Korea, for example. And so, yeah, there's a real intention around from all of these organizations and others to help people who maybe haven't had traditionally the easiest access to games and to the industry to help them gain access and to feel like they have a place and they have a community that will help them feel comfortable in doing that work.
That's also great to know.
Yeah.
And also, I'm taking a second to watch as V paints the face, because I got to do the face next, and I wanted to see exactly where you're landing here.
I actually kicked Hemi off my lap for this very reason, because it's a little bit of a tighter squeeze through here. So you want to get the upper portion of the brow at the top there. We are going to hit eyebrows, but I'm going to tell you this right now. It's easier to paint the eyebrows a different color later than to try and paint around them. So you have this line up here, and then you're going to go over an eyebrow section here. So it's kind of skirting around the horn. And then go into the eye socket. So you actually do get to poke it in the eye a few times.
Well done.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you do when you're being attacked by an abominable Yeti, right? Is you poke it in the eye and then run away.
So it's not like, what is it like with bears? Like, depending on the color, you have different ways of reacting? Is it,
yeah.
Black bears, you make yourself bigger, so you seem more intimidating. And with brown bears, you pretend like you're dead.
And with grizzly bears, you just...
Grizzly bears, good lord.
You just pray. You just pray that they're not hungry, because...
Right.
Grizzly bears.
All right, and then we'll paint around the muzzle, which is going to be helpful. Like if you had a little bit of red go over, this dark gray is going to hide that little whoopsie-daisy.
Yeah.
And get those nostrils, same thing, poke into the nostrils to make sure you get that paint in there. And then the bridge of the nose.
It's starting to look like some.
Right?
It always is fun when you have something that comes out of the box that's like this light gray, bright white. And by the time you're done, you're like, oh, hey, that's a thing.
Yeah, we've had... over the last year, I want to say, we've had a lot of people asking specifically for a creature with hair or fur, so that we can show off how to actually paint, and then also just that kind of monochromatic creature, because you don't want to just paint all white, because it's just going to look boring. But how do you do that and still be true to the fact that, oh, this is supposed to be an all white creature? Right. So these we're hitting two birds with this one abominable Yeti.
Yeah. I had an art teacher back in college who always would tell us, especially with oils and various paints, if you look at white is never what we define as white. There's always colors that are hidden within it. Like if you look at clouds, you'll see undertones of yellows and pinks and blues and grays and purples and everything like that, depending on the time of day, the weather, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a matter of sort of looking at your palette of what you're working on. And yeah, I do have a white, but I only have one.
Yep.
As you can see, there's a plethora of other colors that are involved in this, because they're going to be the undertones of a lot of these things.
Cool.
So that's what helps with these, I'm going to paint a white mini, but it's already white.
Yeah.
Well, sort of, but not really.
Also, I just saw hi Awkwardish Panda and welcome Raiders. Thanks for coming on over. We are painting an abominable Yeti and talking with Eve about the special event that's going on today. That's a big fundraiser that we're happy to help support. So welcome on in. Keep an eye on chat. Gabe will be putting links in there for all the fun stuff that we're talking about while we are poking at nostrils. Because multitasking.
Always.
In a good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
also,
just want to say, like, I really appreciate that you invited me on and that you're taking this time to chat with me. Thank you so much. You're
No, of
such a
course.
generous crew at Codename and the Idle Champions crew, and you've been really great partners for us, so it's awesome. And yay. Thank you.
well,
Well,
we appreciate having you, and uh this show it wasn't necessarily put together to have guests on at first. It was like, oh, V and I are going to paint. But we've just found that this has also been a fun way to have guests on,
Yeah.
outside of the normal Q&A type interview type show. So thank you for
yeah.
coming on and dealing with us painting in the middle of things.
No, it's totally fun. It's a great way to spend my Friday lunchtime. I like it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm here
Also,
for
I've
it.
gotta clip that.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Stray hair on this.
Oh, on the brush. Okay,
Yeah, and
so I'm going to hold this upside down because it's kind of easier to see the points to paint when it comes to the face.
there we go.
So you basically paint around the mouth, and then you get the upper portions with the eye sockets and the nose and the brow. But then you have like these little pieces on the side where there's a little bit of cheek exposed. And one side is definitely more rounded than the other side. Just a forewarning.
Yeah, this Yeti has high cheekbones. Very,
They
very
do.
prominent cheekbones. I'm very impressed.
There's a fancy face underneath all that fur.
Right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be funny? What does the Yeti look like if you shave the face?
Probably-
oh no.
Probably like owls when you take away all their feathers. If you've seen those pictures of owls without feathers, then they're just like, oh, this is a creature from another dimension.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Or like koalas when they get wet. Have you seen a wet koala and they're no longer fluffy?
No. Oh.
That is a thing of nightmares.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go look this
You
up
do.
after we're
You do
done.
need to look it up.
Okay.
And then I found out that the Jurassic Park audio crew used a koala's growl, because like apparently koalas growl, for the T-Rex growl. Like
That I
the koala
didn't
growling was the
know.
bass sound for the T-Rex. Yeah, kid you not. I
Oh,
was just like,
wow.
wow. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's fierce.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, don't mess with those koalas when you get
No kidding.
noted.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
They only look cute and cuddly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is definitely a thing. Okay, so for the audience, for chat, if you have questions while Eve is here with us for the next little less than 20 minutes, by all means, please pop your questions into our chat. Remember to use all in caps, question, colon, and then your actual question. And we'll be happy to help out and ask your question live so that Eve can respond. But while we're waiting for those, Eve, is there anything else that you'd like to share about this effort while we're waiting for others to jump in that we haven't really touched upon yet?
Well, one of the reasons why it's so important to support game developers right now, is that this has been a really tough year in games. And there's, by some estimates, it's between like 8,000 and 9,000 people have been laid off in the game industry this year. Like I was listening to NPR, like I was driving carpool, and it made NPR, which,
Wow.
game industry stuff doesn't make NPR very often. I was like, oh, well, I guess it's a real thing. And I'm reading about studio closures. Just today, a friend of mine was late. Her studio was shut down, kind of
Same.
unexpectedly.
I think it might be the same friend, actually.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, and it means that there's a lot of folks who are going through a really tough time. And one thing that's really important to say about layoffs and about this time is that layoffs are obviously awful for people who lose their job, but it can be emotionally and kind of work-wise really taxing for the people and challenging for the people left behind, because you've lost people. You can feel guilt about not still having a job when others don't, and the stress levels and the expectations at work can sometimes get really intense after that. So, and the adjustments. So it's really like layoffs and these periods in games are tough for everyone. And and there's glimmers of hope on the horizon. It's not going to be this bad forever, but it's a tough time right now, and so we want to really recognize that and try to provide as much support as we can.
And I think right now is actually kind of a perfect time to have your event because we just had the Game Awards yesterday and a chance for everybody to celebrate. Because as much as it's been hard on a lot of people getting laid off, there have also been some amazing games that have come out this year. People have really appreciated having those games. So if you want to help support the people who made all these games possible that you've been enjoying, to definitely go check out the fundraiser.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, it can feel a little weird to like celebrate a game, but it's important to do that at the same time.
Yeah,
it's good to still focus on the positive aspects whenever you can, for sure. Okay, so we're going to move on to the horns, and for the horns, we're going to be mixing Displacer Beast with Fairy Dragon Wing. So basically, you're taking sort of a blueberry blue color and a pretty lilac, and we're going to mix more of the Displacer Beast to the lilac. So do like 3 drops of Displacer Beast to one of the Fairy Dragon Wing.
Okay. And we did get some questions in chat, mostly relating to the schedule. I know Gabe can post the link to the schedule in there, but instead of going through the whole schedule again, it's a 24-hour live stream. When does it actually end?
Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Pacific.
Pacific. Yeah, I should. I am on Pacific time. Therefore, it is.
Listen, I get it. I totally get it. So yeah, go for our audience, go and watch a whole bunch and support all these awesome shows. Yeah. And then after it's done, have some breakfast and then go watch Garwar. Just a whole wonderful day of streams today and tomorrow.
That sounds fantastic.
Breakfast with Garwar.
The breakfast. And I will point out that the schedule that's posted, that link to the schedule, it does not include some additional programming, like between about 4 and 6 a.m., 4 and 7 a.m. Pacific time. Oh, V, look at that.
So the blue is the one that you're showing off?
Yeah, so you want to aim for this kind of blue. So the Fairy Dragon Wing will lighten this up to almost a Wedgwood blue.
Okay.
And the reason why we're doing this is because we're dealing with undertones. So I'm trying to give some variety in the color of the hands and the face, to the color of the horns, to the color of what's going to be happening with the fur in just a minute. So yeah, you want to aim for this pretty blue color.
It's now obvious to me I had too much of the lilac in there because I'm looking at this kind of very bluish purple and you've got a very purplish blue.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta just make an adjustment here.
Well, that's why I show off the swatches.
I appreciate it because I'm like, that's not the color I'm coming up with.
But even
keep
if
adding blue
like
until I get the color I need.
Yeah. Or if you just like the color itself, as long as it's not a true gray color, you're good, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to
We're getting there. I really liked that blue that you had, so I'm trying to get there.
Oh, here, you know what? I've got some updates to the schedule for those that are looking for additional information. So the additional like early Saturday morning session, it's Fortnite Lego. With Dr. Sarah Hayes and Liz Favorito, who runs the AFK Room program at Take This. And they're going to be playing from 5 to 7 Pacific time tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So just before Neon Tiger plays Minecraft. And Neon Tiger is a Take This ambassador too. Really cool streamer. So yeah, that's the update to that stream, so you know what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to check out that Lego Fortnite setup, and that's when I have my morning coffee on the weekends.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I might have to pop that on and take advantage of it if I can.
Yeah, there were a bunch of us who were literally just talking about Lego Fortnite yesterday, so that'll be fun to tune in and watch and get an idea, because I'm like, okay, I'm here for anything Lego. I haven't played much Fortnite, so let's see what this is all about.
Yes, same. same. And I will say, wow, the sun just came out in Seattle, which is a surprise.
Yeah.
I swear, Seattle's been getting New Jersey weather, and I've been getting Seattle weather this year.
Yeah, the weather. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
weird.
been very overcast, rainy days lately.
And our
warm.
audience is kind of used to, especially during the winter, because we get so few hours of sun. As much as I usually block off this window so that I can control the lighting. In this case, most of what people are looking at are the minis. And so I take advantage of any time I can have those shades open. But then that happens is all of a sudden the both of us end up with just like too much light going this way. But you know what? This is a mental health thing. Just getting some sun when we can, because by the time this stream is over, there's only like 2
it'll be
hours
done.
left.
It'll be done. And you get the like really bright gray highlights in my hair. It's like you really get the full effect of my gray.
All the fun, I just end up getting blown out when it happens.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, I think I got.
That just gives you a reference for the one horn done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I see how that works.
I think I eventually ended up slightly more blue, but I'm more happy with this color than the original one that I had, which was very, very purple.
Oh, then yeah.
And I will say, while we're paused, if anyone does have any questions, go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters before your question so that we can grab it, because V and I are going to be, we're locked in on horns right now, so we don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that we got the updates to the schedule, as that's super cool. And it's nice that there's the variety of stuff going on, because it's one thing to be just talking about helping out games, but then games that's just a giant variety of stuff that people play. So I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. It's such a huge, the industry, when I try to wrap my head around like how much is made and like the variety of things and the types of games, it kind of blows my mind. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Let me check. Oh yeah, yes. Oh snap, Dad! There is a D&D game tonight for those of you who missed. We're gonna be, so there will be an in-game alert. So if you forget anything I'm about to say, just make sure you're playing Idle Champions at 7 p.m. Pacific. 7 p.m. Pacific, and there will be a little in-game alert that you can click on, and it'll take you straight there for a D&D game being run by Margaret. I've lost her last name. Cron? I've lost her last name and I feel horrible. Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Margaret Crown. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Yes. I want to make sure I had the right person. And a really cool cast, and they're gonna be playing D&D on stream. So if you are looking,
here, let me tell you.
Because I thought I remembered also Jeremy Cobb being in there, and like I recognized a bunch of people.
It's a cool cast.
It's an awesome group.
I'm going to tell you. Hold on, I just need to find it.
That's okay. I'm still working on horns.
Right.
We have plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that will be if you happen to remember the Twitch channel. That is going to be happening on the Global Game Jam Twitch channel, or as I said, you can grab the link from the game. Oh, there we go.
Yep. I'm just going to
look. It's all the information right there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You got QR code. Oh, yeah. So that's that. And then here's this is the list of folks. So it's Play Katie Play, Charlene Bayer, Mindright, and Jeremy Cobb.
Nice. All great people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be a fun game to watch.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I have been privy to some of the behind the scenes character creation, and I can confirm that it's gonna be fun.
Is there anything you kind of like tease the audience with?
Not
giving too much away.
Yeah, let me see what I can say. There might be a self-described ninja healer. Of some sort.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I think we got some stuff going. And I think there was discussion. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I'm a
fine.
little worried. Yeah. I
Totally
think
okay.
probably I shouldn't discuss specific weapons or tools
That's fair. I
available.
just like the little bit that was already shared. It's
No, that's
piqued my
perfect.
interest.
Yep. Yeah, I know, right? Right?
I'm like, I gotta see what this is about. Very cool. Okay, so I have the horns all done.
I'm
And the
still
next
doing
thing we're
some
going to do
final
now.
details on the horn, so I'm catching
Okay,
up.
cool. Yeah, then what we're going to move on to next then is we're actually going to jump back over to Displacer Beast and we're going to put this onto the fur, which I know you're thinking, wait a minute. Hold on. Why? Because I was talking about undertones before. I want this to have sort of this darker blue undertone to the white fur. So this will help offset other colors going on that are also going to fall into the light grays and the whites by doing it this way. So we're going to paint this the rest of the body where there's fur, not the base. The base is supposed to be snow, so don't paint that Displacer Beast. But we're going to paint the rest of the fur Displacer Beast. But you definitely want to make sure you're thinning this out so that it's more like a glaze. We're not thinning it out for the paint to be thinner. We're thinning it out so the paint more recesses into these really deep grooves and nooks that you see going on in this fur texture, because that's going to have the darker tones sink into those rivets and those streaks in the fur while leaving the upper portion of the fur a slightly lighter blue color, which will come into our advantage later on as we start doing some overbrushing and some dry brushing.
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
We're going for like skim milk at this point. Forget the warm maple syrup. We want skim milk as your consistency.
And now begins the long but fun part of painting the rest of the body.
Right?
We all knew it was going to happen with these bigger minis. There's always that moment where it's
happens.
like, okay, here we go. Time to work on one color for a long time, but it's fun.
Oh, you get exactly. So I'm gonna get this thinned out and show you what it looks like. And I think at that point, once we show everyone what that consistency needs to be and what that first pass looks like, we'll probably take a quick little break so that Eve can go and do your thing. But before we wrap up, Eve, is there anything else you want to discuss? Anything you want to share as sort of a last call before you go on your merry way and jump back into the thick of things for today?
Yeah. Well, don't forget to go visit the Global Game Jam Twitch channel to see the stream. There's lots of stuff happening there. Check all the stuff for the donations. Make sure you can, even if you give $10, that's 20 because it's matched. So, literally every little bit counts. You don't have to give a lot, and don't have to give today. You can give all the way up through January 31st. So don't worry about that. And then also, I always like to say, because this is really important, and oh, cool, look at that. That is dark.
Yeah, it is.
That's super cool.
But you can see that you can see sort of my skin showing through it as it starts to sink in. So that's the kind of consistency you want to go for there, folks.
And that's 100% Displacer Beast. No other color, just a little water.
No other color.
Sorry, and to continue with your awesomeness.
Yeah. So, whatever else is happening, if you need mental health support, Take This has a mental health resources page. So it's takethis.org/mental health resources. And if you need, if you're feeling really like you need a crisis support, like you're not doing well today and you need to talk to somebody, or if you just need some emotional support, if you need some advice on how to find a therapist, if you need some advice on how to help somebody else, go to that page. It's a comprehensive resource, and there's always something out there. There's always a community. There's always a person to talk to, and I encourage you to reach out. So
fantastic.
That is it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably the most important thing to finish with, to end on, is you are not alone. There are resources to help.
Always. Always. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we love supporting Take This and all the other charities that are on this weekend's Game Jam.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. This is really cool.
Same. No, thank you so much for joining us today. Always happy to help signal boost and get word out for such a worthwhile cause. Folks, we're going to take, and this rarely happens, I know, but we're going to need it because I have to play some window magic after Eve logs off of the Zoom call. But we're going to take a break, let's say anywhere between, depending on my tech acumen this afternoon, 5 to 10 minute break. So you're going to see the, we'll be right back screen.
And you know what? You can take that time to open up a second window and go check out Stronger Together. Go check out the Twitch channel. Go check out all the donation pages and go see for yourself what you can do to help Signal Boost.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, both of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you in a little bit, chat. Take care for now.
Bye.
We'll be back.
Hello. Oh, wait.
It's us again.
It's us. We're here.
Sorry, you
We're
caught
back.
me shaking my displacer beast.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it.
And I
shake
needed
it,
a little bit
shake
more,
it.
I think. So,
Yeah, hold on. Let me get rid of this view setting in OB. Oh, that's so much better. Hi, we're back. We had
Hi.
a lovely chat for the first hour with Eve Crevoshay from Take This. She's the executive director. They're working on this fantastic collaborative effort called Stronger Together. If you missed the first hour of the show, highly recommend you catch that information in its VOD form. But just really quick for those who might be joining us right now, let me put this graphic back up on the screen. So this is basically what we talked about for the past hour, the Stronger Together 24-hour live stream event happening today, December 8th. It started up at 8 a.m. Pacific today, and it is going to wrap up at 8 a.m. Pacific tomorrow on twitch.tv, Global Game Jam. And that's something that has a lot of cool things going on. If you want more information, by all means, use that fantastic QR code that you see sitting there. And like I said before, if you want to catch the VOD later on, it'll have some more information there for you. But we'll have some in-game notifications happening later and goodness in that respect. And Gabe has a whole bunch of links that he can pop into the chat for us for anyone who may have missed that information before. And now we're going back to...
And now we're back
Our
to
Yeti.
the Yeti.
The Yeti, which we are basically coating all of the fur with a very thinned down displacer beast. So this guy's going to look a little blue boo-da-boo-dee-da-boo-da as we go through this. But the key thing here is to make sure that you've really thinned this paint out because you want him to get this kind of sky bluish look because you can see the darker bits of the paint are falling into the recesses, which will help with enhancing the undertone of what's going to end up being white fur.
And it's just also fun. I mean, I think V and I are probably doing the opposites. I saw you were doing some very elegant edging to, and then filling in some of the blanks. And I'm like, I'm just going to grab my biggest paintbrush and start poking. So I've been having fun poking at the fur, getting in all the recesses and everything. And I'll go back with a smaller paintbrush and get close to the feet and the hands and all that.
Totally fair.
Belsman's like, is the Yeti sad? It looks blue.
Womp, womp, womp.
Womp, womp, womp. I mean, it will. It will eventually. There will be a brief moment in time in where it will be a blue Yeti, like the microphone.
If we're not ready, and we say not Yeti, then it can be.
Oh, is that what we're up to now? We're gonna be rhyming? Are we rhyme zone?
Totally like steering into the jokes and the yucks and everything like that. Why not? Let's just
yes, we were very well behaved while we had a guest, and now that we're back to just our normal shenanigans, we're super professional. I'm so proud of us. We were so professional. We didn't make any funny rar noises. We only had an adorable cat appearance, not a knocking over things cat appearance. I mean,
let me tell you, I had to control the urge to make the koala impression, but actually, I think my microphone would probably gate me anyways.
Yeah, probably if not the microphone, then the call or OBS or anything. So like, hey, what? After the show, when you're on your way over to check out the Global Game Jam channel for all of the fun that's going on with the charity event, take 5 seconds, stop off at YouTube, go listen to a koala yell at you.
Just look up koala growl, okay?
Tell them V and Lauren sent you.
Or you don't have to do that,
No, you don't.
Oh
but
my God.
So if you do listen to a YouTube of a koala growling, like I've been trying to be better about leaving comments on YouTube videos that I enjoy, because especially a lot of the TTRPGs shows that I watch, all my stories, I can't watch live. Like, it's very rare that I can watch a lot of the stuff that I want to watch live. I mean, I've been keeping up with Seattle by Night, the new vampire season that Penny Arcade put out.
Yeah.
And it is exactly at the same time as Children of Verte. So it's a blessing that those are available on YouTube as quickly as they are. And I can speak from experience, being the person who takes care of the CNE and the Idle Champions YouTube, how important and useful it is for people to you know, like, comment, and subscribe. It's a meme because it's a truth. So I've been working on myself being better about that, about leaving a comment when I watch a thing, especially a long form video, or especially like an episode 2 or 3 or 4 of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of TTRPGs, episode 1 gets all the love. Episode 1, everybody's there
Yeah.
commenting, all excited. And then it's just the way of things. People will still watch, but just won't comment as often on the YouTube. And it's very, very helpful and nice. So I've been trying to be better about that. I'm getting close enough that I might have to change my brush out soon.
I find it amazing how Pavloved I've become to like, comment, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
The inside voice I have in my head is how I used to say it on my YouTube channel. And it's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's like, not gonna say it, not gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not gonna do it.
But I mean, it is the way of the world. It is the way of YouTube, and it is.
It really is.
I technically can only speak for our YouTube, but I think it's probably fair to say for all YouTube channels, it's super helpful and appreciated. The whole thing, the whole like, comment, and subscribe thing.
Yeah.
Poke, 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 poke. Oh, and also we did have some questions come in that were not
cool.
about the Global Game Jam, but about other things, which is, I'm going to grab those in just a second. If you do have other questions for us about painting, about Idle Champions, about Yetis, or even Blue Yetis, I'll talk about microphones, sure. Go ahead and put those
I'm talking into one right now.
They're good microphones. They're solid microphones.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters so that Gabe can grab it. And it is easy to see. And I'm going to take a second and change to a smaller brush as I come over here, because Rough Rider was asking, very kindly prompting something. And I asked them to wait until this second hour because we wanted to focus on the charity game, or the charity stream that was happening, and take this and all those wonderful things. And so Rough Rider very kindly waited an entire hour to ask, is there anything cool worth watching on Sunday on stream? Hey, V.
Hey.
Aren't we doing a stream on Sunday?
Maybe. Yes, we absolutely are. Kicking myself for not pulling that graphic.
You know what? We were focused on a bunch of other things, and that's is totally okay.
Yeah.
Here, I'll grab the link to throw in chat. So, sweet. If any of you are going to be around on Sunday, so normally on Sundays at 4:00 Pacific, you can go to twitch.tv/Eldorei Entertainment, and the D4 D&D stream will be going on. Another show that if you are playing Idle Champions, there'll be a little link, a little pop-up that you can click on and go to. I've had the distinct pleasure of being a part of that crew for a while now, but what is happening this Sunday is slightly different. I'm taking over the DM chair. That's right. We're doing a special one-shot that is future canon, let's say. You don't need to know anything about any bit of D4. It's all going to be a self-contained one-shot, but if you happen to have been watching D4, you might notice some similarities on the people that are going to be playing. So, for example, Goblin Katie is going to be there, who's also one of the regular D4 players. She's going to be playing Seisha. We're also going to have HTT Paladin, who is recently a guest, who's going to be playing their guest character, Brunschlager, who is just like the most ridiculous fighter ever. It's amazing. You should watch. We'll also have Omega Jones, aka the Critical Bard, also a previous guest on D4, coming back to play their guest character, Kuzima, because everybody loves a wildfire druid. And last and certainly not least, the wonderful V Muse. V, who are you playing on Sunday?
Patty Jenkins. No, Patty Jameson. No, I'm bringing back Patty, kids. How you doing? Patty
Patty
is my fantastic cleric who The thing that I loved most about her, she's this furball cleric who got to hug every single one of the members before she went tootling off on her way in Waterdeep. Basically, she's Aunt Patty to them. So, yeah.
She is absolutely wonderful. She's a furball, right?
Yes, furball. So she's like, what I put her at, like 7'7", something. Because I'm so short, I made her ridiculously tall. So she's massive, massively tall.
And I want to say even 7'7" might be fairly average for a furball.
Well,
I
that's
think
just it. But for me, that's extremely tall.
That's true. That's very true. So yeah, we are going to be, so it is a 3 guests and a regular, all going to be playing their D4 characters. And the one shot that we are going to be playing is the recently released Saving the Children's menu, which was written by someone you might know, Deborah Ann Wall, just this awesome person who happened to write a one shot that I was all excited about. Saving the Children's menu. I'm putting in chat the link to the Eldorite Twitter, which has the image and all of the information. It's not a charity game. It's not, we're just playing for fun. We're just having fun. It's been forever since we've seen these players with these characters, and I really wanted to run this amazing one shot because if you know me, I mean, first off, the adventure itself is absolutely wonderful. But also, if you know me, you know I'm a fan of any time that food is a part of an adventure, or maybe the full reason for an adventure. So as soon as it got announced and I read through it, I went, this is amazing. I have to run it. So that's what's happening on Sunday. So come on by and just enjoy a fun romp. And that's all I'm going to say, to not spoil anything.
I say that works.
Yeah. If you're interested in watching, you've already maybe read through some of the adventure and or seen what I really love that they've been doing is D&D Beyond and Deborah and Wall have been putting out these videos that are like, hey, if you're a DM looking to run this game, here's like 20 minutes of the writer telling you like tips and tricks and things to pay attention to and things, suggestions for stuff. She's got a similar thing out there for players. And so while if you haven't seen those yet, I'd say, hold off until after the adventure on Sunday, but I do highly recommend watching them. Because even if you never end up running or playing the game, the specific adventure, they are wonderful resources in general. And yeah, so that is what's going on this Sunday. And I'm at the point where I'm trying to edge around the feet and the hands and not get all over the gray.
I mean, if you get a little bit on the gray, it's going to be okay if it's thinned out enough. If it's a little bit thicker, be careful.
Yeah. It's pretty thin, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay, but I'm also I was pretty darn proud with how cleanly I was able to get the gray along the edges. So I'm just trying to not get in the way.
Totally fair.
Snapdad says koala growls are something else. So apparently at least one person went and listened to a video.
Yeah, they are.
Or maybe you've experienced a live koala growling you. I don't know.
If that's the case, kudos to you.
Yeah, if that's the case. That's a story we need to hear.
Yeah.
If you'd like to tell it, we would love to hear about the day I got growled at by a koala.
And lived to tell the tale.
I mean, they are rather slow creatures. So I would like to think.
I don't know if they're slow is the thing.
I don't think they're that fast, especially on the ground. So I feel like if a koala was to attack you, I think you've got a fairly good chance of getting away. But that's still. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of animals there that I know could very easily kill me without a problem. I think I could run away from a koala.
Yeah. Koala Run.
Exactly.
A new campaign.
I'm pretty sure also a koala would completely mess me up if I did not run away. So I'm definitely running away. I have zero doubt that even the most mild-mannered of creatures could probably completely mess me up. I'm not athletic.
Probably a good life skill.
Yeah.
Self-preservation. Yeah.
Well, I know plenty of people were like, oh, if I was swimming and a shark came after me, I'd just punch it and it'd be fine. And I'm like, are you sure?
I mean, I've watched those clips of people punching sharks in the snozzes, and oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd panic.
I know I would panic, which is why I just don't go in the water.
Yeah.
But that's me. I mean, I also know people who think that basically any wild animal that they'd have a chance against because, I am human, I have big brain. I'm like, yes, but they are lion, they have teeth.
They have big brawn.
Mm-hmm.
You may have brain, but they most likely have the brawn.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Rex Verity just said a koala can run up to 15 miles per hour for short distances, according to Google.
Okay, that's fast.
That's good to know.
But you know what? I'm pretty sure I could outpace a koala then.
There you go.
Short distances, I can run fast for a short distance. I'm not that out of shape.
Now we need a video game called Koala Run, and it's you running away from koalas.
Listen, if anybody wants a game jam that, I will happily offer my likeness. Lauren runs from koalas.
Or just anyone, just like a person running away from koalas. I think that'd be hysterical.
No, there you go. You could be one of those, what do they call those types of games in where the character that you are controlling is like loose-limbed and you have to do the weird thing of like, all right, I'm going to press this button to move their right arm. I'm going to press this button to move their left arm. And they look like Jello. And it's like those. Yeah. Those rage-inducing games. It's got to be one of those, right?
Because of the frustration. Yeah. Oh, God, that'd be funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rex, I'm with you. I will stick to being an indoors person just to be safe. Absolutely. I am an indoor person for sure. If I do the outdoors, it is at a respectful distance of any nature that could kill me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is totally fair. Best to play it safe.
Because we're in the Pacific Northwest. So, Luke and I got to worry about these things wandering around, right?
Abominable Yetis.
Abominable Yetis.
Abominable
Yetis.
Nominables.
Trying to make sure that I spelled that correctly in all of the places has been a nice challenge. A decent challenge. Oh God, this hair. Just when I think I've gotten all the spots.
Nope, you have not.
I turn.
Same thing's happening to me. I need to mix up a little bit more of this too, because I used up all the stuff I had already.
Oh yeah, I've had to do that as well.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's just literally one color, so I don't have to worry about mixing additional colors.
Yeah. And it is, that's also why this is part 1 of 2.
Exactly.
Plus,
we do want this to dry pretty well before we move on to doing the dry brushing and stuff for this, so.
Oh, yeah.
I think we'll get the fur, and then we'll get the base going, because we're all about that base,
Mm-hmm.
And then probably call it for the day to come back for next week.
That makes sure for not just next week, our last episode of 2023.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
What happened to December? It just kind of went, hi, bye.
This whole year both took 5 days and 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time. I don't know about everybody else, but that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got all over. I know we have already talked about what we're doing when we come back from break. I haven't posted in the Discord just yet, because I haven't had time. But when we come back from break, if you would like to join us, we're doing the Black Dragon, right?
Yes, the young black dragon. Not a big black dragon. Well, it is big, but it's the young black dragon.
Not the gargantuan.
Not the big ones. So it's the large size mini. But that's from D&D Nolzer's Marvelous Miniatures. We'll be painting that one, and essentially just if you want to paint along with us for this, make sure you snag that particular mini. And then I'll be pulling paints from the D&D Prismatic Paint sets.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you have those sets and you have that many, you will be good to go for sure. Oh, and I just realized I missed another spot here.
Yep, and we'll be
Pardon me.
as we come back from break, I should say, and this is not just for Paint and Slay, but for all of our shows, because we're going to be on break for a little bit, and then we come back. The office opens back up January 2nd, and we kind of all hit the ground running. So some of the streams will start up basically right away, and some may take a week or two, just because when you come back from break, everybody's got work stuff to catch up with, or you know meetings and stuff when you first come back. So keep an eye as we get close to that first week of January. We'll be posting the schedule. I know we will Paint and Slay will be back middle of January, because there's a couple of things that we gotta do before we can get back into the flow. Like even Mars is not jumping immediately back in, because you know what? There's a lot that goes on at the beginning of the year.
There really is.
But we will all be back.
Absolutely. Almost there.
Yep. I'm annoyed by, but I like how the hair kind of comes around the arms and the legs like cuffs. I know that probably adds a little bit to this is a guy wearing a Yeti costume. But it also, I think it looks neat.
Yeah, it does. It's fun.
Even if that does mean I got to get on the inside of fur, which is a weird thing to say.
Okay. I have a Hemingway hair that is in my way. There we
go. Yes, and Secret 30K, agreed. Time is an illusion, and not a very good one. Also, time is an illusion. Lunch, doubly so.
Mood.
Such
a mood.
Although
I am looking forward to the fact that when we are kind of closed for the holiday break, that hopefully, fingers crossed, means I'm not coming back to like the massive amount of emails I came back to yesterday.
Yeah, the both of us, because of PAX Unplugged, and then before that Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving anyway, we've both been like, I'm here for a couple days, now I'm gone for a couple days, and now I'm back, and there was a lot. There was a lot of emails.
There really was.
And so yes, I think you're right. We're not going to have to worry too much, because most people won't be working over those 2 weeks.
I'll be happy if it's under 50.
You know what? Under 50 is very reasonable, considering how many of those are probably automated.
Right?
Automated alerts and things.
Yeah. I had 169 when I got back.
Oh.
It needed to be checked.
Oof. Oof.
It's a big oof.
I don't remember how many I had, but I was also able to check it a couple of times. So
I was able to keep it over the weekend when I had a breather between like appearances and stuff at PAX. So I went through and I checked email and followed up on a couple things. And that was like a little over 100 that I had to clear out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I should be good, because it was Saturday when I did this. I'm like, okay, cool, great. Saturday, shouldn't be too much coming through. Then I came back to Thursday morning. I was like, whoa, okay.
Nope. Whereas I had 2 very, very, very long flights to work during. So both on the way there and the way back, I paid for the Wi-Fi so that I could keep up with emails and also just watching silly internet videos, because you know what? If you're going to be stuck on a plane for 4.5 hours, you might as well watch some silly internet videos.
Oh, I totally.
Or serious internet videos.
There's more I missed. Dagnabbit.
Yeah. I've made myself move along from the feet, and I figure I'll go back and look at that in a second.
Yeah.
See what I missed. I'm also noticing a place or two where I missed on the horns as I'm doing this, so I'll have to go back to that.
Well, it's always because those colors tend to flare back up.
Yeah.
When you're painting them. And then when you realize what's happening, you're like, oh, dang it. Dang it. What are the colors I need? Looks like oh, Snap Dad.
Mm-hmm.
PAX Unplugged was great. So you were also at PAX, which is so cool to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was busy. Oh, it was busy.
It was very busy, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Busy,
busier
but
than
good.
last year, at least.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For absolute sure.
Mm.
I was just glad that the layout was back to how it had been in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
all
wasn't like
basically
last
in the
year.
one part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the Pennsylvania Convention Center is absolutely ginormous, and it's
Yeah.
over several blocks in Pennsylvania. And they do this thing which actually makes a lot of sense for the layout of the convention, in where because it's over several blocks of space, um there's essentially a block of convention space, and then there'll be um a tunnel or an overpass that's still within the convention center that goes over the road and then goes to the next block of convention space, which means it can be a very, 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 very large convention,
Yeah.
and you can actually host multiple conventions at the same time and kind of keep them, I say keep them separate, but in a good way of, like, people not getting accidentally confused about where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that has meant in the past for PAX that not all of PAX will be in one chunk. That you'll end up with most of PAX in one chunk and then some of PAX in another chunk. And because it's a huge convention center, that can mean a lot of trying to book it from one place to another. But this year,
Mm-hmm.
everything was basically in one chunk and in the train station, essentially,
Yeah.
which is right there.
Yeah. It definitely helped out big time.
Oh yeah.
Um, God, I still remember Gabe Hicks and I were on a panel last year. He had to
Mm.
get over to the main stage for the Dragonlance
Mm-hmm.
game that they were running that evening. And he wasn't familiar with the new layout and
Oh
how to
yeah.
get from where we were to where he needed to be. So he and I are like tearing through the convention center, my trying to like dodge through people and get him there on time because we had like 10 minutes, if that, to get him to the main theater.
Oof.
And that's when the main theater was way across the way, all the way up to the fourth level or something like that. Remember that?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that was a lot of
Oof.
running around last year, ping ponging between those two sections.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think I have it pretty much set up where the fur, as you can tell, like I said, the reason we thinned this out is that this could kind of mostly fall into the recesses and you get sort of a lighter blue happening here instead of the darker Displacer Beast blue. And this all makes sense if we start doing the overbrushing and the dry brushing and highlighting that we're going to do on the fur next week. So really all that's left is basically getting the base of the base color of the base, I know that sounds redundant, painted up so that it has time to dry over the weekend as well. And for that, we're going to go straight in with Stonewall Gray. I'm not adding a different color to it. We're just going to use that nice neutral gray tone because that's essentially going to be the base undertone for the snow that we're going to put on.
I'm still finishing up. I got everything except just the
Totally
the
cool.
mohawk of the head. So I'll
The
be
mohawk.
joining you in the base shortly. I just got a
Yeah, no
little bit
problem at all.
more. I'm enjoying going nice and slow because so
Yeah,
far I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've actually got very uh
Yay.
clean lines is not exactly like,
Steady lines?
yeah, I don't have clumps in different places of color that shouldn't be, and so I'm trying to keep that up.
Awesome. Rory is pawing me on my elbow and looking so pathetically up. Now she's here.
Oh, hi, Katie.
That was short lived. Can you sit for me? You gotta sit down. Thank you, Miss Thing. So I'm gonna go in with a little detail brush and edge around the feet to get this color in around it, and then I'll move to a larger brush.
Yep. Whereas I did the opposite with the fur, and so now I'm doing edging around the mouth with the tiny brush. I don't know why I did it that way, but oh well.
It's what spoke to you in the moment.
I was so excited about grabbing the big brush and going poke, 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 poke on
Poke, poke,
all
poke.
the fur, I guess.
It was almost like doing a wash.
A little bit, yeah.
That's what got you happy.
Probably. You're
Did
probably
you like
right.
your wash time?
Mm-hmm. I,
Uh-huh.
I like my paint wash time. I also like taking showers. Like it's
Right?
all the same.
Ooh, where are we going? I beg your pardon.
Wherever I want.
Pretty much is what she just did. Oh, this could get interesting fast.
Where'd your cat go? I was looking down, so
She's underneath the monitor right now. Yep. Problem is she's small enough she can fit in odd places on my desk. She manages to stay unobtrusive until she's a problem.
Dilettante FTW, when you say these pieces, do you mean the minis? Or are you talking about something else? Because at least for me, I do not sell these minis. I have a bunch of them displayed, and I have the rest of them stashed away for use either during a D&D game or for other, maybe when I feel like displaying other pieces.
I well, I'm gonna be obnoxious. Yes, I obviously I have a ridiculous collection of painted and unpainted minis. It's bad. It's bad. I went down into my basement couple days after I got back from PAX, and I was like, I'm gonna paint something. I realized I have at least 6 boxes worth of unpainted minis just stashed in various areas and that type of thing, if not more.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah.
I collect those. And when I finish painting them, I do display them. A lot of them are on these bookshelves behind me, which you can't really see too well. And then I have this big shelf over here. Well, it's like a bookshelf desk over here that has more of my painted minis. And then once in a blue moon, I will take custom commissions. I haven't done that in quite a while though, because that's time that, quite frankly, I don't have right now. But I have done minis for people in the past and painted them up for them on a commission basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not done minis for a commission, but that is okay because this is a hobby and I am nowhere near at a professional level to be doing that for others. But I enjoy doing it on the stream here and I enjoy I weirdly because I run theater of the mind so much, I enjoy the act of painting the mini way more than the actual using of the mini.
Yeah.
But my lovely husband Luke is loves playing with minis and on maps and doing stuff with maps. So all the minis are at his disposal.
There you go. There you go.
So it works out.
Yeah. Okay, so dilettante, if your response is tiny or your residence is tiny, so you could always turn those things into gifts if you know people who enjoy minis. You can gift them to friends. Also, like a lot of things like local game stores, they're always open to taking mini donations for when they have games being played.
Oh yeah.
Or even schools that have D&D games set up, especially because kids relate to gameplay so much more when they have visual reinforcement. That could be another avenue you can explore to still have the art of mini painting, but not having the collection basically require you to either upgrade to a new residence or you have to consider charging them rent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually came home from PAX Unplugged with one mini. I did not go with the intention of buying any minis because, I got plenty. More than I need for sure. But I was over at the Eldritch Foundry booth, which had a bunch, and I'll grab it in a second. But I picked up a mini, and I'd posted about it. It's basically Orkira if she was either a warlock or a wizard. It's super cool. So it's a dragonborn with a tail, with the same style horns that she has, holding a book, which is appropriate for her no matter what, and with fire in her hand, which is also appropriate. But she's in this long epic coat, and it's very cool looking. I'm like, alternate universe Orkira is a warlock, I guess, or a wizard. Here we go.
Oh, that's
Probably a
fun.
warlock. I feel like even alternate universe Orkira does not have the intelligence.
You're too
Like that's how
funny.
you know. That's how you know this isn't Orkira. It's like, wait, you have an intelligence score? Nah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Imposter.
Dice 42 has a question. What is the mini or set piece or hobby project that you are most proud of?
Oh, that's definitely the Zobek terrain and minis that I pulled together for Cobalt Press a few PAXs back. I think it was the PAX before we went into lockdown. So that was what, 2019?
2020.
2020?
20?
No, it'd be 19 because PAX Unplugged happens in December and we went to, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. I was thinking of wrong parts of the year. You're right.
Yeah. So, I do have a video of it on my YouTube channel. She says, wondering if I kept that public or if I shifted that to unlisted. But yeah, no, it was getting a bunch of different terrain and minis prepped and ready to go so that basically the DMs who are running the Kobold Press games could create various areas of Zobek on the table.
Let's see. That's an interesting question. A whole bunch of minis came to mind. I'm still super proud of the Myconids that we did. I know it's episode 1.
Yeah, still.
But I'm just, I think they came out amazing. They were super fun to paint. I still look at the fade on those caps and I'm like, damn,
I did that.
I did good with that.
I did that.
And there is something to be said about how it is the first episode mini that I painted, and so there's a little bit, nostalgia is the wrong word, but there's a little bit of it being special because of that.
Yeah. Sentimental value.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, jeez. I feel like it's cheating to say the Orkira that we did, the kit bashed Orkira.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it is, and I love it, and I'm very proud of how it turned out. But you know, that might also be a little bit of my bias. Let's see. Sorry, you caught me looking back there because
It's okay.
I'm like, oh, you know what other one that I'm really, really proud of? The Hell Wasp that we did.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one, and those wings are just. I love how the wings turned out, and I love the colors on that. You know, for a wasp or something that's evil,
it's striking.
And it's super pretty. It's got lots of fun colors on it and everything. So I think the Hell Wasp, if I had to pick one other than the Myconids, I think it'd be the Hell Wasp. I'm really proud of how that turned out.
That's definitely fun.
Got on the foot. No.
Oh no. The paint is afoot.
Paint is afoot. The foot is full of paint.
Oh no. That was a good question. Oh, the Outhouse Mimic. That was a fun one, Bellswin.
Oh, yeah. The Outhouse Mimic was real fun.
Yeah.
And the way the wood on those doors, the door and the side of it looked, turned out. Yeah.
I love it. I love a good wood weathering project. Definitely a fun thing to do.
All right, there we go. I think I got everything before it. There we go. All right, back to the gray.
Yes.
Dilettante says, Whizlock, which
Whizlock.
I mean, stat wise, a wizard Warlock combo would be a challenge for sure, but uh but not impossible, especially at
Yeah.
a decent level. Um but yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, as much um as wizard would suit her personality a bit more, warlock and the realities of who she prays to and everything, I think warlock. And it's just, I mean, you got to see this coat. Yep, you know what, I'm just gonna grab it. I know exactly where it is. It's right here. I'm just gonna grab it because it's super cool. There you are. Oh. So once again, not an amazing this camera doesn't show it off amazingly well, but like, look at this coat.
That's cool.
Like, it's got
And
the
again,
whole
this is Eldritch Foundry, just to make sure we're clear.
yeah. So there was just something about the coat and her. I'm just like, all right, well, if I ever need an alternative, there's already one Glitch or Kira out there.
It's inspiration for another time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I have finished up the base. What you will notice with the Stonewall Gray is it darkens slightly. Some paints, they dry and they lighten up. Other paints, they dry, they keep the same color. And then there's some like Stonewall Gray that go a little bit darker. So just FYI, you didn't do anything wrong. It does get darker. It's what it do.
It's what it does.
This is awesome because we have all the base colors on now for the Yeti for next week. We'll go in and make it look a little less blue and a little bit more, what you see right there from the in-game art that we have of an Abominable Yeti. But yeah, this should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll go from a blue Yeti to a blue-toned, white-furred Yeti.
Yeah. To a Yeti that to a Yeti that doesn't look like it decided to get a dye job on its hair.
I mean,
it's a fun color though.
It's like when the little ladies go to the hair salons and they get those washes to tone the brassiness of their white hair down. Sometimes it comes out a little bit purple. Sometimes it comes out a little bit blue. It's a thing.
Yeah, that's half the fun.
So yeah, we'll be back next week live for that one. In the meantime, don't forget this weekend we have our weekend buff. The newsletter has started going out, so keep an eye on those emails if you haven't received the newsletter yet. If you're expecting a newsletter and you didn't sign up, well, that's going to be a problem. You need to make sure you sign up for the newsletter to get the newsletter, because when you get these newsletters once a week, we'll let you know what the weekend is going to be, which is the Rise of the Undead weekend this week, and a free gold clawed chest will be heading your way. So just keep that in mind. And we definitely make sure to only use those newsletters for fun, free things every weekend for our weekend buffs. But also if there's like something once in a blue moon we really need to give you a heads up about, we'll use the newsletter for that.
Once in a blue Yeti moon?
Once in a blue Yeti moon. Blue moon. So
you saw me going past the camera alone.
Trotting alone. And also we have for our current champion right now, log in to get Shadowheart during our Simmerl event. Yes, Shadowheart from the award-winning Baldur's Gate 3. Congratulations, Larian Studios. That is phenomenal and wonderful, and we're also happy for you here at Codename Entertainment. But yeah, you can log in and unlock Shadowheart and add to your Baldur's Gate 3 formation friends with Astarion and Lae'zel as well. So that's something fun you can do also this weekend after you check out the weekend buff stuff. And then finally, one last time, as Lauren and I completely disappear, don't forget, happening right now until 8 a.m. tomorrow Pacific time, the Stronger Together 24-hour live stream event is happening. That's on Global Game Jam. And it's a great conglomeration of people working together to help each other out and help out those in their community. I highly recommend you take a look at that QR code. I keep talking about that QR code, but if you use that QR code, it has a whole bunch of helpful information once you go through. Gabe has been an absolute rock star. Thank you, Gabe. Gabe, if you don't mind just popping in that link one last time to get people to the main information for Stronger Together, that would be super duper helpful in the chat. That would be something that others can link through if they don't want to use that QR code. But yeah, definitely make sure you stop on by, check it out. They're going to raid after the next. What's our next show?
Formation Save is after us. They're going to be on from 2 to
Yes.
4, and then after, or just as the show is ending, Sean will take every wonderful person in the chat and will raid into Global Game Jam. They will have an Electrum chest, so stick around, because not only is it for a good cause, and not only are they going to be doing a fun Q&A, but also, you know, you'll get an Electrum chest. Here, I'll stick that main campaign in there since I got it offhand.
Perfect.
And yeah. So, and if you happen to need to go do something else for a little while and come back, if you're playing the game, tonight there will be an in-game alert at 7 o'clock for the D&D game going on at 7 p.m. Pacific.
All right, fantastic. So I think that is it for everything today. Lauren and I will see you next week. Until then, everyone, take care and thanks for hanging out with us today. Bye-bye.
Bye.